everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. I'm your host, the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne. Today we're joined by Harshit Chachra. Harshit is with OnRamp Money. And Harshit, before we start talking about OnRamp Money and what you guys are doing there in this space, first and foremost, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Wayne, as well. Pretty excited to take this forward and discuss, have a lot of things with you. Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll definitely jump into what OnRamp Money is doing. OnRamp is doing a lot of great things to onboard people in the space, to help with on-ramp, off-ramps, just like the name states, right? But before we jump into what is OnRamp, can you tell everybody what, a little bit about your background, what you did before this, and what got you into this space?
Absolutely. I think for me, it has been an interesting journey, to be honest. I started reading back. I always knew Bitcoin for the wrong reasons back in 2013 and 14 when that sort of, college friends came together and discussed a lot of things. And, of course, the wrong reasons that came out of that as well. But definitely back in 2017, during my stint with one of the technology companies that I was working for, got to learn more about the tech side of things. Prior to that, I was actually working as a Spanish language expert with all these, multinational companies earlier, looking after the business development growth, the sales side of things for Latin America and Spain. And 16 and 17 was the time where I sort of delved in depth with, learning more about Bitcoin, of course, the blockchain technology as well. And from there on, it's been like an unceasing journey to learn, keep learning and keep growing as well. And of course, music NFTs is something that was, did put a lot of focus for me as well, because being a musician, I also delved deep into the NFT side of things. So that sort of pushed a lot of things ahead for me as well.
Nice. I tell you, it's a sweet spot for me. I love NFTs, and I think most people have not even seen the potential of what NFTs can do, what their potential is. And so I think we've when you talk about music NFTs, we haven't even scratched the surface of the potential of what that could be. We've seen some early iterations of NFTs in terms of, cartoon images, JPEG images, communities being built around that. But I think the missing piece has been just showing people how it solves problems, and the music industry is a great one for that. Especially even here in the U.S., the music industry is only a handful of musicians actually make a ton of money, and most of them are only getting scraps. And especially with the latest, the way streaming operates today, there's not really a good way to reward those artists.
Absolutely, I think. That's when that was one area where we sort of, where I personally sort of saw a big potential in terms of how users are getting onboarded onto, the Web3 ecosystem altogether, with on-ramps coming into the picture. And that is where sort of NFTs also come into place as well, right? Because as a regular user, they would not want to understand, or for a regular user, it might be very hard to sort of understand the tech behind it. Right, very similar to how, let's say, some of the biggest companies work. Users know how to use the software, but they don't know how is it actually built, right? So that sort of a flow is something where currently what we see in the ecosystem is people building onto, building projects, dApps, and products which are easing the use of onboarding as well. For a lot of users, and that is where let's say even the music NFT side of things as well come into picture. Obviously, I personally, like in a couple of months ago, I released an NFT on sounds.xyz. I was pretty amazed. Why? Because there was a lot of community support as well. Plus, we were actually featured in one of the biggest wallet providers, that Consensus. So Consensus really liked our story in terms of how we are building into the music side of things as well. Plus, that is where I saw that, on-ramps actually play a big role. Why? Because, come on, when it comes to Spotify, you just need to do the payment, right? At the back end, what happens behind the payment is something that the user does not really, have to know. They want the ease of access to these services as well. So I think that is where, on ramps plus all these products which are coming out around NFTs, around gaming, be it around digital assets altogether as well, physical assets being converted into digital assets, plus real world assets as well, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think you touched on some great points, especially, I've had this actually conversation a few times just this week about the tech. We need to quit leading and telling everybody what the tech, that we're crypto, we're Web3, whatever. Show the technology, show it in a way that your product solves problems. And most people, they don't care how the back end works as long as it works. Like I always compare it to driving a car. Not everybody needs to know how to work on an engine to operate a car, right? You just need to know how to use it. And that's what we need to focus on more instead of just, leading with tech. And I think that's what we see really throughout the years with tech adoption, right? You see the first iteration of most tech is not very user-friendly. Great tech, but it's not user-friendly. It's not easy for people to use. And as that evolution happens, that makes it easier for people, that's when you really see it start to take off, because people don't care how great the tech is unless they can operate it without any fear, any concern. And as you mentioned, I mean, that's what you guys are doing at OnRamp. So let's dive into that. Let's unpack that. Can you give everybody an overview of what is OnRamp?
right, absolutely. So what OnRamp does is basically converts any fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat within 60 seconds. How do we do it differently than all the other on-ramps and off-ramps is the ease of login, the lowest fee structure that is out there. When we say that we are the lowest in terms of fee structure, you can actually go ahead with all the biggest players, check out the prices, and we actually give 9 to 10% of additional assets to the users as well. How do we do it is because of the banking rails altogether. Right, so we are live in more than 7 countries right now. A couple of countries which are going live by the end of this month. Already sort of integrated with the biggest player in the market, MetaMask, Ledger, Coinex, and a couple of more as well. Been closely working with Arbitrum, Avalanche, FIO, and Ton, the open network as well. So that is what we see sort of bringing it together in terms of the user onboarding. I think this requirement actually came up from the MetaMask team as well earlier, where we discussed and took things forward in terms of enabling this for the Indian market. India is like the toughest market altogether, to be honest, when it comes to regulations and well, right? But things look positive. Things looks very good on the positive side as well in India right now with the regulations coming in. Now the sort of regulators are being more open and friendly towards understanding the tech as well. In fact, a lot of these government projects are there as well, which are trying to sort of use the technology, blockchain technology, to solve problems for supply chain, for medicals as well, even for digital certificates as well. For example, Polygon did something with with the government in terms of with some of the universities as well, to give a digital digital certificates to certify, saying that okay, it's registered on the blockchain, and it's registered to a specific identity. So I think there are multiple ways that the user onboarding is also sort of taken care as well. And as and when we go along with other things that are coming out as well in the space, specifically with let's say generative AI and all, I think things look on the brighter side for us as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. That's good to hear. And I'll tell you, surprising about India. I remember it's probably been a few years now, but India along the way has tried to outright ban crypto, right, in the past. And I recently saw a report about crypto adoption by country, and India was in the top of the list for crypto adoption. I think you're right and I think hopefully most people and people in those that are in government or any kind of position of power that are hesitant or unsure about cryptocurrency and blockchain, when someone looks at it hard enough with unbiased lenses, they see all the problems this can solve, all the inefficiencies it can solve, all the trust it can restore in broken systems, right? It can create a level of transparency. So it's good to see see that happen. And so for now, OnRamp is India kind of your biggest customer base right now?
Right. So India, Turkey, Indonesia is something that we've already sort of taken that forward with doing on ground work with a lot of projects as well. Then Vietnam, of course, UAE is one of the toughest markets to also to enter, and Mexico, and a couple of more of this there as well. So in the next stride for us, by the end of this month, we would be taking Euro GBP live as well. Everywhere where we are going, it's instant bank transfers. It's not with credit
Gotcha.
cards or debit cards, because generally that is where the sort of fee structure play comes into place, specifically with these big giants that manage
Yeah.
the whole processing. Yeah,
Yeah, I think many people that are used to using credit cards, unless you've been a merchant, don't understand all the fees that go along with
exactly.
swiping those cards. So yeah, bank transfers definitely make sense. And you mentioned Mexico, man. It's definitely important because outside of where you are, I mean, when you mentioned the countries that you guys are working with already, Turkey was in that list in top crypto adoption. Obviously, places that have experienced high inflation, problems with the financial systems, or even the money itself in those countries. And it's important to have on ramps. Not talking about your company specifically, but on ramps in general, in terms of where not everybody's getting paid in cryptocurrency now, right? So people need to have a way to on ramp if they want to buy certain coins or tokens, and then an off ramp if they need to sell those to to pay for something. So that's an important process. I know for me personally, getting paid. I don't get paid to a bank account. I get paid to a wallet as well. So not all of my bill providers can accept crypto. So it's I'm still having to use on ramps and off ramps to be able to buy and sell just to live. I think we're going to see that more and more as merchants. I think eventually you're going to see it shift to where, okay, as more and more merchants start to accept crypto, there's still going to be a need for on ramps and off ramps, because those merchants are still going to have suppliers that they need to go. So I think, I doubt cryptocurrency is at a point anywhere in the near future where it's going to replace all the traditional currencies, but it's definitely going to coexist side by side in many places. Like you see, what's happening in El Salvador, you can walk into a business there and you can pay in Bitcoin or you can pay in dollars, right?
That's true. I think that is how the sort of adoption for digital assets or cryptocurrencies is growing towards as well. Right? A lot of people still are at that state saying that, okay, I'm like, we are just here for the money, make money, and just leave the space. But I think there are real world use cases which are being catered to, and which are being paid attention to as well, to at least use this technology to solve a lot of other problems that already exist. Specifically, also, like, how FIO is doing right now, right, with human readable addresses as well. I think that is where the picture comes into place as well, where the user experience and the user onboarding sort of actually brings in a good value for the regular users as well. So I think in that case,
Yeah.
FIO is like a big example in itself to sort of push that forward in terms of the user onboarding experience, giving that user onboarding experience to the regular users. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, when you look at like those that understand blockchain technology, and you don't have to understand it to use it, right? But those that understand know why those long public addresses exist and what
Absolutely.
purpose they serve. But the user doesn't need to see it. And it's the same concept when you go to when I go to the website and I type in onramp.money, it's going to take me to an IP address. I don't care what that IP address as long as I get there. It's still in the background. And that's kind of what happens with wallet addresses is you type in a handle, and if you type it in right, it's going to get you to the right place. It gets your assets to the right place, and it stops you from making those costly mistakes. And so having those different tools is important. It's important to be able to send and receive easily, and it's important to have on ramps to be able to get in easily, get out easily. You take out that friction of where it's hard for people, and we're going to see more people use the space. So there's so much, man. We go through the whole user experience, even setting up a wallet.
Exactly.
Seed phrases are clunky. I did a test with that. So I was teaching a class recently, And I gave two examples. One of them was Edge Wallet, one of our other partners, and I had the users set up an Edge Wallet. Now, the onboarding of the Edge Wallet is super easy and simple. Like,
That's right.
the user, in many cases, doesn't even realize they're setting up all the aspects of a non-custodial wallet. And then when they were done with that, I had them set up a MetaMask. And when they got to the seed phrase, everybody got stuck. Everybody's like, "What is this? What do I do?" And they were like, "I need a piece of paper to write this down. What do I do? What do I do with this?" So I think there's a lot of solutions being built. You got OnRamp's one, FIO's another one, a lot of other partners that we do that are looking just to make that user experience a lot easier, because there's a lot of people in the world that don't care about how great the tech is. Does it work, and can it be easy for me? Right? That's what they want to know.
I think a lot of it's a similar case when we talk about the biggest cloud storage provider as well. I wouldn't take the name, but yeah,
Yeah.
right. So they've been doing it for years, and everyone in fact uses that cloud storage as well to sort of deploy their applications and everything. But the end user does not know what exactly is happening, right? So all they care about is how easy is the onboarding. How do I make transactions? How do I buy something? How easy is it for me to understand the whole platform, right? So I think that's the case. What we, like all of us are focused together as well to sort of build this forward. Might
Yeah.
take a little time, but I think it's going in the right direction.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's talk about some differences here. I know you said what OnRamp is, but new people that are listening to this, or people that maybe aren't that inexperienced, they're hearing a lot in the news about what's happened with FTX Exchange and Celsius and Voyager over the past year. I mean, the FTX trial started recently with Sam Bankman-Fried, but explain to everybody how OnRamp differs from the traditional exchanges that some people may be used to using.
Right, absolutely. I think the fear for what happened with FTX actually, bubbled up a lot of things, a lot of questions for a lot of these regulators, a lot of the governments as well. Right, there were questions where they weren't able to sort of take care of the investors as well. Right, I think there is a still gray area for a lot of exchanges as well in all the jurisdictions. But there are likes of Coinbase, for example, going public, like actually creating a trust with the regulators, even with a lot of other governments as well. So just last week, for example, they obtained a license in Singapore and in Spain as well, Coinbase.
So, yeah.
Right, so I think that sort of a trust is something that the bigger ones would be able to sort of build and make sure that it's very clear with all the regulations or the compliances that come into place as well. How on-ramps differ at this point of time is what we see that even the biggest exchanges are using on-ramps and off-ramps as well, right? Because at the end of the day, what happens is basically with all on-ramps, in fact, in general that is out there, they do not store any of, let's say, in general, what happens is they do not store the digital assets for the user at that point of time during making the transaction. They mostly, work as a payment provider, right? So that's a payment layer which sort of enables receiving of fiat into the bank accounts or via credit cards or debit cards, and then process creates an order for, let's say, the crypto, and then send it off to the wallet address directly, right? So I think that layer, that payment layer, is something that all on ramps and off ramps are very strong about as well. The regulation side of things also come into picture, where being an exchange and being a payment provider has a lot of differences, right? And at an exchange level, since a lot of these exchanges, for example, do KYC, don't do KYC, there are a lot of regulations which come into picture, the policies, the AML policies specifically. I think all the governments really want to make sure that there's no money laundering happening, there's no terrorism or illicit activities that are happening, and that is where is sort of on ramps come into play as well, because acting as a payment provider, working with the local authorities and with the local regulators and government bodies as well, to make sure that there's no illicit activities that are happening. Just that, just to put example as FTX, right? That has been like the biggest explosion in the space when it happened. I was in London for the token 2049 when that happened,
Yeah.
and there was a little chaos. I could feel that chaos in the in the community as well. But there were people saying that, okay, they were bullish on in terms of the solutions which are coming out as well, which are similar to exchanges. A lot of people say that, it's similar to exchanges, but to be honest, it's not really an exchange. It's a payment provider. It's a payment layer that enables the fiat to crypto conversions altogether.
Yeah. Absolutely. So with OnRamp, if I'm understanding this right, users can. There's quite a few wallets and exchanges that have OnRamp services in it. So when they click buy or sell within certain wallets that you guys are partnered with, they'll be able to see OnRamp as an option to buy and sell. And then also, you guys have your own platform app that users can download to purchase directly. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. I think we are actually the second one, let's say on ramp to sort of release the app in all the regions where we are live now, right? And we've seen massive traction on that because at the end of the day, we understood that every like just to give an example, in India has around 780 million smartphones, right?
Yeah.
And everybody sort of connected with the internet at this point of time. They use apps, and it's been growing ever since, in the last 10 15 years. So it is a massive opportunity. It was a massive opportunity for us as well to sort of launch the app on the Apple Play Store. Now it's also on the Apple iPhones as well right now, in the Apple Store as well. So I think this is what we see, saying that users don't have to go directly to, let's say, the website and do a buy option or a sell option. They could just use the app, do the purchase, deposit in any of the exchanges, or let's say decentralized exchanges or dApps that they want, and it's instantly done. Right? I think that was a very clever play for us as well, because just a week ago, we saw some announcements on another platform which came out, and another application that came out on the Play Store side of things as well. And we didn't want to wait, like till the time, like there are other on ramps also pushing into the
Yeah.
market. So we said, okay, we built this app, just take it live. We'll start improving as well. I think that was the play for us as well, where we saw massive engagement, thousands of downloads, hundreds and thousands of downloads now.
Nice.
Now, as we go along in other regions as well, people are starting to, know us as one of the applications that can be downloaded and used easily via, for on ramps and off ramps, or buy and sell altogether.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that's great to see, because you can be there wherever people need you. If they just know they want to go directly and buy crypto, they go to OnRamp, or if they're in a particular wallet trying to transact and they need to add some more funds to that wallet, add some more crypto to that wallet to transact, they can purchase within that app as well. So
Right. So the likes of, let's say, MetaMask, Ledger, Pillar
Mhm.
Wallet, Plana Finance, and I think a lot of them as well that is out there that we are speaking to. Some of the biggest announcements, in fact, in the integration side would be this month as well. So do tune into some of the updates that we have this month.
Nice, nice. And if I'm understanding it right, also, and I know a lot of people listen to this may be new to the space, but there may be some people that are working that may have a business, traditional business. You guys have open source code, right, to where someone can integrate a widget for your platform into their website or into their platform. Is that correct?
That's right. So the onboarding sort of is very similar, simple, and seamless altogether. Uh, what we generally do with wallets and a lot of projects is get them onboarded, do a quick KYB, get them on a call, explain all the details, that because there are definitely a lot of questions which come from a lot of projects asking that
Absolutely.
how would it work, how would the compliance side of things just work, everything. I mean, ton of questions that are bombarded to us as well. But I
Yeah.
think since we have a clear vision in terms of working at a long term, and making this seamless as possible, So there's like, a simple way of getting on a call, like, create a call with us, book a demo with us. We'll, sort of present the whole live demo, and then, users, the projects can directly register for an app ID that we share. We create those app IDs based on the requirements that they have. And the integration in itself is quite simple. Just in a day, they can sort of take things forward with the integration and going live as well. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Harshit, as we wrap up and we finalize this podcast, can you tell everybody where can they find out more about OnRamp? Where can they find out more, and where can they also follow you guys?
Absolutely. So we are already there on all the major social media platforms. On Twitter, users can follow us at the rate OnRamp Money, and we also have a live page that is out there, just with the similar name, OnRamp.money, and we have a Medium page as well where we sort of work with projects like FIO and others as well, where we keep posting updates, our partnerships, the new regions that we are coming out, the new features that are being launched as well. So Medium, Twitter, and directly on this web page as well. Yeah.
Awesome. So make sure to check that out. And also, so if someone has a coin or token that they want to get added to your platform, there's a form on your website to submit contact form, so you guys can get in touch and see what you can do. Is that correct?
That's right. So we also have
Awesome.
a program where we are onboarding more and more projects to sort of enable this fiat to crypto payment side of things as well. So the integration is something that we take care at our end, and the projects can directly reach out to us, fill the form, understand more about the project, and see where explore synergies to work together on that side as well. Yes.
Awesome. And one thing we forgot to touch on, I just noticed it out the corner of my eye on the website, but NFT Checkout is something that, can you explain real quick what NFT Checkout is?
Absolutely. It's as simple as doing a payment in fiat and receiving your goods at your doorstep. Right. So for example, any of the music projects or any of the NFT projects that are out there, gaming projects as well, they can quickly integrate us. What we take care of is receiving the fiat at our end, in our bank accounts, reconciling the accounts at our end, and whatever the merchant requires in a specific wallet address, we directly send that to them directly. So, and it's real time, so there's no lag in terms of the payment side of things as well. So like instant checkout with local fiat, but at the back end powered by blockchain.
Nice. I think that's really going to help drive more people to really understand and use NFTs and purchase NFTs when they see obviously the value. I mean, you see that you're definitely passionate about the music side of it because you're a musician, right? But there's going to be a lot of use case for NFTs, and we've got to make it easier for people to buy, just like we do right now for crypto. Until everything's mainstream and everybody's using it, you got to have those on ramps. So if you're a project or thinking about one and you want to integrate NFT payments, reach out to their team as well. NFT Checkout, where your community can purchase NFTs using their fiat currency. So that's really it. Harshit, as we wrap up, any final words from you before we wrap up?
I think I'm pretty excited to share this with the community. I personally love talking to people and exploring synergies to work together, of course. But happy to sort of do any connects that is required in the space as well. I've been like Web3 enabler all in the last couple of years, right? So that happy to sort of connect with folks and share a lot of things as well. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are doing great things. So everybody listening, make sure to go check out their platform, check out the website. And then also follow them on social channels so you can keep up with what's going on. I can tell you a lot of things happening in the space. A lot of projects are building out stuff. The market prices may be down, but people are building. I mean, they're launching apps, and I'm sure there's a lot more coming. So check them out. If you want to contact them about your project, make sure to fill out a contact form. So that's it. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a nice one. Thanks.